been pastor here for 27 years, and from the very beginning of my ministry here, I have felt a calling from the congregation to make sure that we are deeply connected with our neighborhood. One of the issues in Lancaster is keeping stormwater out of the stormwater system, because it all runs into the sewer treatment plant, and when there's a heavy rain or even a moderate rain, the plant is overwhelmed and none of that sewage gets treated.
So all this water, if it's too much for the sewage system to process it, it goes into the Susquehanna River and into the bay. And all of this just does terrible things to the bay. So what we're trying to do here is our small part. We have a huge roof, and we've managed to take the rain that falls on the north side of the roof and put through the pipes that we just buried in the ground into a huge hole that's filled with rocks so that it can percolate and not flood anything.
And then we decided to look into how we could allow our plants and the ground that we did have, how could we affect that in a way that was good for the environment as well.
We had a local Mennonite woman who runs a native plant nursery come in and take a look at the grounds that we wanted to replant. I thought this was a great opportunity to use this space for encouraging pollinators and sustaining pollinators, especially here in the city. I'm hoping as people get to see it, it will inspire them to maybe try doing some of this at home.
We became interested in keeping bees a number of years ago. We've had several colonies. With our new plantings, we have created a wonderful space for these pollinators.
Grace has made it a habit and has created a culture of deep involvement in the neighborhood as we are able, with the gifts that we have to share, and listening to the neighborhood to find out what are the ways in which the city of Lancaster and our immediate neighbors are calling us to serve here. But we began to think more about the environment, and our concern for the environment is a natural concern for, well, this is the place we all live, this is the place all of the people we serve live, and how is our church contributing to global warming? How much electricity are we using? What are we doing with our stormwater? Are there things that we can do to be better stewards of God's creation and to be both an example for our neighbors and serve our neighbors?
I think one of the richest things God gave the planet was the Chesapeake Bay. The Chesapeake Bay has been a source of an incredible amount of food for people, an incredible amount of a source of employment, and we've pretty much trashed it in the last 100 years. So if we don't start doing some of the things we're doing now with our rainwater mitigation, native plants, all of this, the bay is going to die and we'll never get it back.
Bees are very important for our food sources. They pollinate most of the foods that are grown here in Lancaster County. Native plants are much better for our pollinators and for the animals that are indigenous to this area. And we do have our native wildlife designation from the National Wildlife Federation, so we're very proud of that designation.
In our work with our gardens, we contacted first the Lancaster Conservancy, which is an organization that's conserving farmland and natural spaces and places here in Lancaster County. Through the Conservancy, we got connected with the Interfaith Partnership Chesapeake, Interfaith Partners for the Chesapeake, which is an organization based down in Maryland, caring for the bay and encouraging, especially leveraging their relationships with faith-based communities to get those communities involved and aware of the problems with the bay and what we're doing up here in the North Country, which is really the biggest contributor to pollution in the bay.
It's a project that brings people together, and we can all see together what God has done for us. And it's just good to know that we're all working for the same God. We're all in this together, and we're all trying to find together a solution.
We are tasked to care for God's creation, and that's exactly what we're doing here with our new plantings.
This has been a wonderful project. It's been great because we've been able to get people who have a passion for flowers and for our pollinators to find a way to be involved in a different way here at church. We are setting an example of how to steward God's wonderful gift of this creation. And I think it matters to God because He has given this gift, and we have that responsibility to take care of it.
Well, as a pastor, I'm always thinking about how will the things we do engage our people? How will it bring them into a deeper involvement with the congregation? So it's gotten a nexus of people involved, in an immediate, hands-on way. And then in the larger context, we certainly hope it has a positive effect on the wider world, on the Bay, and that we can leverage that as a public example. We certainly hope that with what we trust we know about God from Scripture, that God has made the earth, that God likes what God has made and called it good and very good, that God calls us into a healthy relationship with each other and with the earth. This will matter, both in the effects that it has on the very real behaviors that people have and the consequences that we cause or don't cause, but also in our relationship with God to help us feel closer to God, connected with the earth of which we're a part.